Most potted plants don't die from neglect, they die from inconsistent hydration. The common mistake is assuming watering frequency is the main issue, when in reality the soil in containers loses moisture stability too fast. Once the root zone swings between dry and saturated conditions, roots shut down absorption, even if water is technically present. That instability is what causes slow decline, curled leaves, weak stems, and sudden wilting even after watering. People then overcorrect by watering more often, which makes the cycle worse by suffocating roots and breaking down soil structure. Within the first minute of correcting this, I always check what's actually happening inside the pot instead of guessing. That's where the Humus-Rich 4-in-1 soil moisture meter becomes genuinely useful in real container gardening. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. It helps identify whether the plant is actually dry, overwatered, or sitting in a root zone that's unstable due to poor drainage or incorrect moisture distribution. Because here's what most gardeners miss: the top layer of soil can feel dry while the root zone is still saturated, or the opposite can happen in fast-draining mixes. Without accurate feedback, you end up reacting to surface conditions instead of root conditions. Now let's get into the Aloe Slurry method that changes everything. Aloe vera isn't just a healing plant for humans, it contains compounds that directly support plant recovery and water retention when used correctly. The key is not simply placing aloe pieces in soil, but turning it into a structured slurry that interacts with the root zone gradually. When I prepare aloe slurry, I use fresh aloe gel blended with water at a ratio of roughly 1 part aloe gel to 5 parts clean water. This creates a mild, biologically active solution that supports moisture balance without overwhelming the soil system. The goal is not fertilization, it's stabilization. Most people make the mistake of overloading plants with concentrated plant juices. That leads to fermentation issues, root stress, and inconsistent results. Aloe works differently when diluted properly. It acts more like a conditioning agent for the root environment than a direct nutrient source. Once blended, I apply it directly into the root zone of potted plants every 10 to 14 days, depending on plant size and environmental stress. In hotter conditions or fast-draining pots, it helps reduce moisture loss between watering cycles. In more stable environments, it supports recovery in plants that have already experienced drought stress. What makes aloe slurry effective is its interaction with soil moisture behavior. In container systems, water often channels unevenly, leaving dry pockets where roots struggle. Aloe-based slurry helps improve water distribution consistency, so moisture spreads more evenly instead of draining straight through or pooling in one area. But here's where experience matters. Aloe slurry is not a replacement for proper soil structure. If your potting mix is already compacted or poorly aerated, even the best hydration support won't fix root suffocation. This is why I always combine slurry use with proper soil monitoring instead of treating it as a standalone solution. That's also where tools like the Humus-Rich 4-in-1 meter become important in real gardening systems. If moisture levels are off or pH is drifting out of range, aloe will not solve the underlying imbalance, it will only temporarily mask symptoms. Knowing the actual condition of your soil helps you decide whether to stabilize, aerate, or adjust feeding cycles. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out, because guessing soil conditions is one of the fastest ways to lose container plants without realizing why. Another overlooked benefit of aloe slurry is stress recovery. When plants are transplanted, pruned, or exposed to heat waves, their root systems go into temporary shock. During this phase, water uptake efficiency drops dramatically. Aloe compounds help buffer that stress period by supporting moisture retention in the root zone, giving plants a more stable recovery environment. I've tested this in container setups where plants normally wilt within days of environmental stress. With proper aloe slurry use, recovery becomes faster and less volatile. The plant doesn't bounce between extremes, it stabilizes and resumes growth more consistently. But I'll be clear about one thing. This method does not fix bad watering habits. If you are overwatering heavily or letting pots completely dry out repeatedly, no slurry will save the plant long term. Aloe works best in systems that are already moderately stable and just need improved moisture consistency. Once you combine proper watering discipline, real soil condition monitoring, and controlled aloe slurry applications, container gardening becomes far more predictable. Plants stop reacting dramatically to small changes and start maintaining steady growth patterns. That stability is what most gardeners are actually trying to achieve without realizing it. If you found this useful, subscribe to Farmagic. We focus on real plant systems, practical soil science, and container gardening methods that actually hold up under real growing conditions. And share this video with someone who still thinks watering more often is the solution. They're missing the real biology happening inside the pot.